We're going to move on. Sports Radar. We have John Randall and Bob Teofilo with us today. And Sports Radar, here we go.
Synergy Hockey offers the first true end-to-end application in the hockey space, meaning that you get broken down video provided to you in digestible clipped up segments, as well as a video editor that can be used for live tagging and sending of those videos to your staff and players. The first thing a user must do is select the game and team that they would like to look at. They select their league, season, team, and then the matchup. Once they hit apply, the user will be opened into the single game page of any game that they have selected. Within here, we are able to show a team all different line combinations that they put on during the ice and how those lines actually are producing while they are on the ice. We also can use things like matchups inside this selection page. For example, we could come in and say, only show me lines that had Edvinsson on the ice. Once we do that, we will only see the lines in this case in which Edvinsson was on the ice for this game. We could take this a step further by saying, show me all the times Edvinsson was out there against Casper during this game. And by hitting apply, we will see all the times that those two players interact on the ice against each other. Inside of our application, we also will have a box score view, which is going to show all different NHL box score statistics that are tracked for this game. You can switch between your teams here, even between skater and goalie statistics as well. Within the application, all of the statistics that are in blue will be tied to video. So all you have to do to see any time on ice, in this case, would be click this player's 22 minutes time on ice. And the video will pre-populate here with those 26 shifts making up his time on ice. We also offer full period and full game playback if you ever want the full story to any of these events. With the other side of our application is our video editor. From there, we can send any of these clips in one click as a packaged playlist ready to go right into our system to export out to players or coaches. To do that, we switch from playback mode to editor mode, and again, just click on any statistic that we want. We go ahead and just press send to editor, and our editor will automatically load in all of those statistics that you sent over with the tags associated with it and all information that Synergy has with that player's information. Once we have our clips in our editor, we now can go and export these to our staff or players. For this in Synergy, we have a few different ways. The first way will be to export it directly to our computer. This is without the need of internet and can be used with a USB or hard drive. What we also have are different send options via Synergy. Synergy is a cloud-based platform with no special computers, no special servers, or hardware needed to operate the systems. Because of that, we can send directly through Synergy, and at that point, you would see all accounts that you have associated with your organization. You would then click their name, press send, and this would send directly to that person's smartphone so that they could access it anywhere in the world. With these clips, we also have a level of video editing that can be done with these as well. As we're watching these, we have full ability to add text overlay and graphics on here for our players as they view this information. As we're watching this, if we wanted to add a note for a player, all we have to do is click right here. We can add that note. And when we go back and watch the video, it will be visible in the upper left-hand corner of that screen. We also can take this a step further for our players if we wanted to point out certain examples within video to point out for them for coaching moments. To do that, we can use these tools here. What these tools allow us to do is add full text overlay and coaching graphics on top of our video so that the players know exactly what the coaching staff is expecting from them. To do that, we can highlight certain areas. We also have squares, lines, arrows, free draw. You can even add images on top of your video. Once we're in here, we can choose to auto pause this video and then dismiss the object once we're finished so that we can give this player the coaching insight that they want, but then continue to watch the video. For example, as we watch this, it will go ahead and auto pause for us and then continue on with the clip for the rest of the shift. Within the Synergy editor, there are full capabilities for things like live tagging, as well as changing the clip length for any clip that Synergy has created or you created during your live tagging session. During live tagging, we have what is called source edits. Source edits will allow us as live taggers to open any tagged video no matter where we are in the world. If you are tagging a video live, it will be available to your organization no matter where those members are anywhere in the world, as long as they are connected to internet. That is going to be the quick demo of Synergy Hockey. I look forward to answering all of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob, John, are you guys there?
Yep. Hey, Mike.
We are, yes.
Welcome.
We appreciate you having us, and thank you to Patrick as well.
And Patrick's done a great job putting this together, but thanks for being a part of it.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Tell me about your product. Where are you guys? Where are you selling it? Who's using it? And where in the world is this being used?
So a little side note. So Sportsradar acquired Synergy Sports. So when John was referring to Synergy Sports, he was referring to the acquisition prior to. So Synergy Sports is a solution that's used on a very global level. Every league in the world, we have access either through the relationships with Sportsradar, through Synergy Sports. So we're very much on a global level. We're working both in North America and Europe, and very entrenched with organizations on both sides of the ocean here.
So now that kind of saved me. I said Radar Sports, and I realized when I came up Synergy Sports, I was like, "Uh-oh, did I say something wrong?" But I didn't actually. I didn't do something too wrong, at least.
No, you're good. You're good. It gets a little tricky. Very much the Sportsradar aspect is a very important part of our puzzle. Even our relationship, Sportsradar has an agreement with the NHL. Obviously, that really helps. And even on most leagues around the world, Sportsradar, either from integrity services, from betting rights, from the coaching analytics, from Synergy Sports, we pretty much work with every league around the world.
They just brought up something that we haven't touched on at all today. Betting, knowledge, analytics is really, really interesting for the world of betting. How does your company deal with that, or where are you guys in that picture?
So we're very much at the top level of that. So in NHL, for example, the NHL will work with a betting company, a betting provider, to provide the data. And that data goes down to the next level, which is the level that the average consumer would interact with. And so we aren't necessarily dealing with the average consumer. We're kind of dealing with the top league level, and then that league, or that, then we're providing down to the other providers that deal directly with the fans themselves. But from the analytics standpoint, that's really the next wave within the betting sphere, is that, in the historical betting market, it's been very much off of the very basic data pieces. And now it's getting to that next level, getting to the high level information, what exists on a global level. How can you really get the insights to have better information, both from the consumer as well as from the league? So, even the NHL has talked about different ways that they're trying to interact at the top level. whether it be from face-off information, from that different data sources, and really go into that next piece.
John, tell me about your role in the company.
Yeah, so I manage a lot of the future growth of our product. So I've been with Synergy for about 2.5 years. A lot of what I've done is talking to coaches, talking to leagues, gaining information. Hey, what are the systems you guys use? What are the pain points you're currently facing using those systems? And how do I come in and how do we make a product that actually fits what coaches are looking to do? There's a lot of products out there that are driven by, what the company thinks is the best route to go for these teams. But what Synergy and in term Sportsradar always does is take direct feedback from our clients to drive the ingenuity of our product. So we only build products that are asked for by the sport, asked for by the coaches, and that's what we invest our time into doing. That's the majority of what I do. So working hand in hand with these coaches and the leagues, talking to them, gathering that information, and turning it into action items for our team.
Now, John, just like many other of the participants in our program today, everyone has talked about the coaches. We're doing this for the coaches, giving them the better chance to make good decisions and the right players and the right time. But the players,
Yep.
I understand that everyone will say, well, the players go through the coaches. But at some point, when you talk youth programs or you talk growing up, the players have to be in the sense an important part of the business model of some sort where the players are forefront. We want to make you better. We don't want to make the coach better. We want you to be the better player. Is that
Exactly.
Am I missing something there, or is that
No, and that really holds true with a lot of the amateur leagues. So when we're coming in and talking to a lot of the midget leagues, bantam leagues around the world, and they're asking us, hey, how, what can you do for our league? But the other side of it is, what can we do for your players? How can we get a player in your league exposure that they may not have gotten before? And the use of video allows teams to look at more leagues, more players, more situations, more statistics than they ever have before. And what our goal is to bring those leagues to the forefront. Make a tier 2 league that is not highly scouted, that has some players in it available to these teams that might have interest in some of the top players from these leagues. Really give these players the visibility to continue to go from their team that they're on, continuing to move up in the hockey ecosystem. And by doing that, that's also going to in turn help the leagues that they're working in. That league's going to get more eyes on it because they have historical players coming from that league, and the leagues that recruit and pull players from those leagues are going to in turn start to watch more games, view more games, and view it as more of an integral part of their scouting and recruiting process.
Now, you talk about North American and midgets and junior or bantams and things, and for all the Europeans, that's 13, 14-year-olds bantams, and then midgets are older than that, and then you go up to the juniors after that, peewees before that. The infrastructure in North America, are there cameras? Are there ways to get at the film? Is there ways for you guys to offer teams, players, depending on where they're playing, or is it half of the arenas have cameras, 90% of the arenas have functioning? Tell me a little about North America.
So we're working actually on both sides with the camera, both sides of the ocean, that is, in terms of the camera setup. But in the vast majority of organizations that, whether you go the junior level, especially the major junior on up, they all have cameras, they all have their production quality. The goal is really to getting across the board. So you're not missing games at the midget and the bantam and some of those levels. And a lot of what they've really struggled with is the quality. They might have an infrastructure in place, but that infrastructure is an antiquated system. It's not, at that top quality. And it's making sure that they're able to not only provide the information, the data behind it, but to be able to really glean something out of it. If you have an old infrastructure in place, the old joke when I worked with a team is that you always got video from one of the USHL teams, and it was always a terrible angle, and you couldn't see what was happening. Well, that information, that data, that video is not going to provide much insights to that player, to the coaches. So you really need to work with the organization to help them grow across the board. So they're able to get better infrastructure, have a better camera system in place, and then from there get higher quality information and data across the board.
Let's look forward next 12 months. Synergy, what will be an improvement that you guys will be able to tell us about 12 months from now at next year's conference? What have you done that we're going to say, great job?
I think the biggest thing is access across the board. Right now, especially in Europe, I would say more in Europe than in North America, some of the lower age range are really not getting that coverage. They're not getting the coverage, whether it be, the J20 league or J18 leagues, even in Sweden, or some of the top countries in the world. When you get to the 18, you get to the 16 range, and they're just not getting the high enough quality of data. You can't even, if you're a player who's playing in the J18 often case, and I don't want to speak for everyone, you're struggling just to get your time on ice. Forget the information behind it to just be able to watch that video. We're trying to step into that part of the puzzle. We're trying to say we can provide this data on every level, whether it be, the top countries in the world or some of the more developing nations, from the hockey sphere. Are there ways to really grow at a very global level?
Impressive. Where's the best? Sweden, Finland, Canada? Which country is the best?
I will defer to the IIHF's rankings and say, if we want to make a judgment, we'll let that make it.
So Finland's not.
Well, and that's where, I'm a American by trade, so, and you're American as well, so I'll let everybody debate this on the call.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for being with us, showing us about Synergy and Radar Sport, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.